All right, hey, what's up guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Today I'm going to do a video on a comment that I got a request from one of our subscribers on defending split back option, shotgun split back option from a reduction front split field coverage principle. So I'll go over a couple things that I would do in base defense, how we would approach it from base defense, and then maybe at a later date we can get into other things or more involved with exactly what they're running and how you would defend some of those things. So make sure you check out some of our partners, GameStrat, sideline replay company we use here at Bishop Kenny High School. I've been using them for the last 5 or 6 years. Highly reliable, highly affordable, great customer service. Check them out. Dome hats, all right, completely customizable headwear. If you want to design your own hat, you go online, they're hat builder. You choose the hat style, you choose the enclosure in the back, snapback fitted, Velcro, you choose the bill in the front. You can change panels, colors, everything is customizable, so every hat has a story. Make sure you let Dome help you tell yours. Baker Sporting Goods company we use for our sideline gear, coaches gear, practice gear, spirit packs, uniforms are distributed from them. They're also not just football, they're in the baseball world, all sports, all cloths, so make sure you check out Baker Sporting Goods. JustPlay, which is the software we use for our playbooks. We do a lot of our meetings, team meetings and offensive and defensive install meetings through the presentation mode in JustPlay. I think it's the best play drawing tool on the market. I use it for any clinics I speak at and my Patreon site, so make sure you check out JustPlay. DifferenceUSA, ultimate striking machine, thousands of reps, don't need a partner, hooks up right on your squat racks in your weight room, so it's perfect for in-season, off-season, thousands of reps. If you want to strike violently, you've got to practice striking violently. You can make this a lot safer by striking DifferenceUSA pad and not have to waste time or risk injury with somebody else holding a bag. All right, xandonotebook, company that makes completely customizable notebooks for players and coaches to take notes during installs, game plan meetings, any other meetings you might have. I actually just used one of their books and took notes in our onboarding with Atavis, in our meeting with Atavis to get introduced into their tackling system. So I actually used one of the notebooks, took notes in there. You can customize not only the front and the back panel, but the inside pages with the templates that you want and how you want to take notes. So make sure you check out xandonotebook. So, again, doing a video that is a request. I used to be a reduction front team. We played a lot of quarter, half defense, and coach was basically asking me defending option from a split back 2x1 deal where it's split backs with twin side, and then also the twins receiver will come in and play tight end, so more of a 21 look, right? So first of all, if it's a reduction front team, you're probably going to have the 3 techniques set away from the passing strength, all right? You're probably going to have the A shade and the 5 technique under front stuff, where you have the strength call to the strength declaration with the SAM, because if you wanted to be under front and they were 21 personnel, like I'll show you in a minute, or tight end attach, and you were going to play with a 9 technique, SAM linebacker is that 9 technique. So normally you put the 3 technique in what is football terminology reduced on the backside. So the backside, the weak side, is reduced down to a 3 and a 5, right? So 3-4 personnel here. So I've got nose, 2 ends, 4 backers drawn up. All right, 2 safeties, 2 corners. So reduction front, we would probably have the 3 and the 5 away from the strength. Why is that going to be important? It's going to probably dictate how we play the option game to each side. Okay, so from a zone option principle, all right, so let's just say the first play is, some type of inside zone weak, and there's the option player to that side there. All right, so to the side that you have the open B gap, you're probably going to be a scrape replace team or a hard squeeze team. So if this was, let's say, some type of inside zone look, all right, like that, and they were trying to read the 5 technique. To the open B gap side, more often than not, you're going to be a squeeze chase player, all right, and you're going to have to replace that with the mic over the top, right? So that's how you're going to handle the dive to the open B gap side, and hopefully, all right, you have an end that is good enough to chase down and play the dive if it's an inside zone team, and they're working zone away if the entry point of the back is to the front side A gap on the other side. Hopefully, by being flat, turning our shoulders and chasing, we can give the quarterback a pull read. Now your mic's going to have to replace, scrape paint tight over the top, right? So now the inside part of that option play, all right, is now going to be the 5 technique. The mic's going to replace that and be the outside part, all right, of that option. So the mic would essentially end up becoming the quarterback player. We don't talk in terms of dive player, quarterback player, whatnot. We talk about inside and outside part because now with all the power read and counter read bash and all those things, I don't think you can just necessarily say you're the dive player, you're the quarterback player. We talk in terms of inside-outside components. So the chase player is going to be the inside component. The Mike's going to replace and be the outside component. So obviously on this side, all right, 5 technique, you're going to try and set the edge and take that block on there. Your 3 technique, depending on whether he's a 1 tech or a 1 gap or a 2 gap guy, he's either going to, all right, beat that block with leverage and hat placement, and the wheel's going to plug your front side A gap. All right, and then your backside A gap is being played by your nose on the inside. The backside B gap is being chased and eliminated by the backside 5 technique. All right, the Mike is becoming the C gap player over the top. And then as far as working on, all right, playing the pitch, it all depends on how they're going to block this. If it's, all right, true triple option, then they're going to block it here and up there. And now the quarterback is going to end up having to pitch off the Mike. And, I'm sorry, the quarterback is going to keep, again, when we play it this way, if we give him a pull read, he's going to pull off the end. Hopefully they don't arc release, or hopefully they can't get to the Mike, all right, in a base structure, so that when the Mike scrape exchanges, he's going to force the cue to pitch. And then if they're blocking it this way, the Sam, all right, can make a play because they're figuring that the Sam is going to be the guy that they pitch off of, all right, and that's because they're assuming with numbers they can get to the Mike, they can if they pull off their dive key, and that's the 5 technique, if they pull off him, now they're assuming that if they get to the Mike, they can pitch off the Sam. If you're going to be a scrape exchange team, what you're basically doing is you're taking the B gap away with the end, and you're telling the Mike that on those veer releases inside, you've got to get to a position where you cannot be blocked by that tackle. All right, what's the answer going to be on offense a lot of the times? Whether they arc release is up to them, but sometimes when they arc release, that elicits a different response from the 5 technique. If they want to do it from their zone world, what they're going to do is they're going to sip inside hard, all right, and then they're going to turn the tackle out on the Mike, and the quarterback's going to pull and run the ball up inside. So again, this is a base way of how you would handle, all right, how I would handle triple option stuff from a base 3-4 theory, from a split field theory, all right, game plan wise, and then getting into stunts and movements and changing the fronts a little bit and how you're playing, who's playing, all right, the quarterback and who's playing the dive. That's down the road game plan stuff. From a base theory, in under reduction front, this is how we would do it, all right? The only other thing they might do is maybe out there they might actually physically block the Sam if they know that the Mike's the QB player and they can't pitch off the Sam. Now they're going to make the free safety run in space. One of the things I think you can do out here, all right, is I think you can occasionally change your coverages up so you can play some 2 deep. Sorry, afternoon announcement.
Julia Hanley, please come to the main office.
Apologize, live video.
Julia Hanley, please come to the main office.
Live video, sorry, no editing. So you can play some cover 2 and make the corner the force player now, all right, and try and change up exactly who the pitch player is going to be and how they have to block certain things. All right, but from the front side to the open B gap, it's going to be very generic. I think a lot of people play it this way. All right, that's the way we would attack it from the front side. Now the back side is going to be a little bit different, all right, because to the side that's got the closed B gap, we're not going to chase. We're going to squeeze and pop. All right, so we are going to squeeze and pop on the side. So the side that has the open A gap to it, we're going to what we call surf or squeeze and pop, right? So going to be a little bit different on the other side. And that's why you've got to work your option rules and how you defend some of this stuff. So if we still had the 3 techniques set on that side, and now you're going to get zone, all right, some type of zone option to the single side, right? So now what you're going to get is you're going to get zone front side. So you're going to get the zone block there. You're going to get combination and the zone block there. You're going to get the combination on the 3 working up there. All right, and now you're going to get zone triple. So now to this side, the jack linebacker is what we call a squeeze and pop player or surf player. So he's going to squeeze the air out of this zone inside veer release. He's going to shuffle with his hips and shoulders square to take, all right, any potential wind back behind the 3 technique, making sure that the ball can't go behind the 3 technique. But he's going to have his hips and shoulders square so that if there's a pull, he's the pop player that surfs out and plays the quarterback, right? We're going to be in some type of rotation down to where it's corner force or safety force to handle the pitch. So now your Will on the front side, instead of being a gap exchange player like the Mike was, your Will's the front side plugger, your Mike's the front side B gap player. That's how you're building a wall on a zone play. So there's your backside B player. There's your backside A player. Front side A, front side B, front side C, build a flat wall, and then the jack squeezes down and surfs to make sure that the ball can't go behind the 3 technique. Then he pops late for the quarterback. When he does that, make sure that he's surfing hips and shoulders square so that when I pop, I don't want to be squeezing and popping or surfing from a turned shoulder position, because now if the quarterback pulls it, my hips aren't in position to make a play, right? So to this side, this is going to be what we call squeeze and pop, or the big boy term is surf. All right, to this side, it's going to be, all right, scrape exchange, sorry, or, chase, replace, however you want to look at it, whatever your terminology is. So to the open B-gap side, we're going to be chase, replace, scrape, exchange. To the 3 technique side, we're going to be squeeze and pop. And then we're going to create an 8-man front one way or the other with our split field concept. So we're always going to have a pitch player. All right, we have a quarterback player with the jack. All right, the only thing you're going to have to figure out when you get to game plans, other things is, remember that when a team is an option team, you control who has the ball as a defense. They don't control who has the ball. So we're going to control who has the ball. So if the quarterback's that dynamic of a player, we're going to try and design some schemes to get 1.5 on him. All right, if the fullback's that dynamic of a player, then we're going to make sure that that quarterback is pulling it a bunch and not letting that fullback rip. Okay? Usually when you're playing option teams, see a triple option team, see if you can get them to pitch the ball, because a lot of those guys don't pitch the ball a bunch and then they don't really work on the pitch phase. So it's usually the dive component or the zone component, all right, and the quarterback component. Remember, terminology-wise, talk to your kids about playing it from an inside part and an outside part. Don't go old school and talk about dive, QB, pitch. All right, you can still talk about pitch or triple component, but on the original components, make sure it's inside, outside. And the reason why is because these teams, especially these teams that are spread components, all right, and again, this was just a base video, how I would defend it from base. Why is it different to the B-gap side? Why is it different to the 3 technique side? All right, but you got to remember, you're also going to see from these teams a lot of bash theories or power read theories, right, from split back teams. So at the same time, you're also going to see like power read stuff, right? So you're going to get, all right, in a power read world, you're going to get it to where maybe it's blocked here, arc release for the mic, all right, ball is going to be ripped to the outside there, and now on the front side you're going to get down, all right, down there, depending on how they want to, depending on what they're trying to do, sorry, down and back, nose, back on the 3, or hinge the 3 there and work the center, possibly, all right, either the center can be on front side double, the center can be backside A gap, however teams want to do it, that's completely up to them. That guard's going to pull and be the inside component for the mic. So now what's going to happen is we've got to talk to our guys about inside components, outside components, right? So there's going to be an inside component here. It's not going to be QB dive. Remember, if I told them to play QB or dive, when this end gets this down block and he squeezes, okay, and we told him that he was a dive player, for argument's sake. Well, the dive player now is actually the QB. He's the inside part, right? So if we told them that there was a QB player or a dive player, all right, in this instance right here, there is no dive player. The dive player becomes the inverted part of the option, which is the QB. We told him Mike to scrape exchange, and he's going to be the QB player. Well, he's not the QB player if the QB player is running the ball in there. He's actually getting over the top to force the issue on the power read. All right, so he's getting over the top to force the issue on the power read stuff. So now the end is taking away the inside component. That's the cue. All right, we're going to make this ball go when we play it with this scrape exchange. All right, or all right, chase and replace, however you want to look at it. We're going to make sure that the ball goes to the perimeter outside. All right, and now what's going to happen is we're going to need our safety to be able to make plays in space, because they're probably going to be able to arc release and get on the mic. They're going to be able to block the Sam with leverage, right? Now, whether or not they can win these 2 blocks, that's a different story. I've had offenses where we've had everything schemed absolutely perfect. We knew they were scrape exchange. We knew they were squeezed. We knew we were going to get the ball to the perimeter. And that Sam beats us to death, and that Mike beats us to death, even though we have hat on hat. So right now, they do have hat on hat in this situation. Safety in space is going to have to make tackles. This is where, within instances like this, this is where the nuances of your coverage start to change a little bit, right? So now, if you are worried about more of the power read stuff, maybe you set the SAM outside, all right, and then you set the safety inside, and now when you're getting a power read, you're going to make it go to the perimeter, right? You're going to make the ball go wide. You're going to set the edge with the SAM from outside in quarters now. So this would be quarters, not two read, right? Two read is an adaptation of quarters. This is truly quarters. So now what's going to happen is this positioning is going to allow you to set an edge on the ball. You're going to make the ball as a give. You're going to force a give read, and now it's going to have to turn up inside quicker. Less space for the left safety, and you may be able to help your Mike out beating a block and making a play, because now that you've gone to quarters, you force the ball to go back inside, right? So you inside components, you're looking at open B gap, you're looking at chasing it, replacing it with a backer. Closed B gap side, you're looking at squeezing and popping and more plug style inside runs with the will. If they were outside runs, I don't know, depending on the read scheme, I wouldn't be plugging the will, he'd be running. All right, but basic zone option, B gap side, chase, replace. All right, closed B gap side, where there's only an open A gap, I'm going to surf, I'm going to squeeze and pop, however you want to use that terminology. Then when it comes to the perimeter components, I'm going to change the coverage to the two receiver side. I'm going to change the coverage to the single receiver side. All right, the other thing Coach was saying, that they'll bring that slot down, okay, and that slot will be more of a tight end, but it's still split back option stuff. And the only thing I would say, and again, this is not a video for game plan. This is a video for base defense. Day one, we're seeing this. How are our kids going to play it? Well, if I'm an underfront team, and this is what I get, and I'm a quarters toolbox team, well, there's the underfront. This guy's giving me a body that's potentially in a three-man surface zone, so my SAM's going to be almost 9 technique by nature. Now we're going to play quarters behind that instead of two read. The backside components won't change, all right, and how we play the option game in base theories, camp rules, is not going to change, right? The only thing that this is going to make me do is this is going to make me go quarters as opposed to two read. And that's the way our kids will be taught. We're going to play the same front. We're going to play the same structure of everything we do. If it's two removed, it's going to be two read or palms. If it's two attached in the core, it's going to now be quarters. So now we know we're going to get a defined force player. Right? So they're going to have to figure out how they want to block their triple option game. We know we're going to set the edge there. We know we got a quarter safety that's reading off the blocks of two ready to run the alley. We're still going to, all right, squeeze and chase the open B gap, scrape exchange, chase, replace the open B gap there. And on the backside, we're still going to surf the backside. So none of our rules are going to change. The base part of the front side coverage is going to change from two read to quarters. And then based on them having the inline tight end or the three-man surface presence, all right, now we've got to figure out, do they carry different runs from that look, all right, and how do we have to answer to that? So within the base, within the base reduction front defense, those are camp rules, split field coverage, reduction front. That's how I would play the simple option game that you see from split back stuff. When they start getting into counter read and dart read and other things, all right, that's game plan. You know, that's things that you can't, I can't really tell somebody how to defend something when I don't know what they play. What I can tell you, though, is I'm going to defend the structure first. I'm not going to defend plays. I'm going to tell you how we would defend that structure, and then within simple option rules, how we would talk to our kids about playing the option and inside component, outside component, and which side is going to be, all right, chase, replace, and which side is going to be squeeze and pop or surf. That's what I would be talking to our kids. And then game plan-wise, we would get into zone reads and bashes or power reads or things like that. I don't think you don't design a defense to stop plays. You design a defense to line up and stop structures, and then you talk about plays each week as you are getting into your game plan. So I hope this helps the coach and his staff that was talking about the video. Probably very generic in nature, but if you wanted to ask me how to defend, in more in depth, I would have to see film on the people you're playing, look at their percentages, what they run, and then tell you from there the things that I would really be taking away. The big piece of advice I can give you, if it's an option scheme, no matter zone option, veer, whatever it is, wing tee, it doesn't matter what it is to me. If the quarterback's the guy, take him away. If the dive's the guy, take him away. If the pitch is the guy, take him away. Defense controls who gets, the football in a triple option scheme, not the offense. All right, so hopefully this video helps. I appreciate the comments. Anytime I can get out there and try and help somebody or do a video that is on a request, I will always do it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, so you know every time we do a live video, or we go on YouTube Live. I will be on YouTube Live tonight at 9 o'clock talking a little bit about tackling. So if you're on and you see this video, you want to check that out. All right. Notification button, all right, so that you get the notifications of when we're on. Sorry, hit the subscribe button, become a subscriber, notifications so you know when we do a video like this or when we go on YouTube Live like I will tonight at 9 o'clock. Thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment, all the good stuff that you've heard a million times before. Make sure you check out some of our partners, all right. I hope your weekend gets off to a good start. I hope everybody's healthy out there. If you're getting ready for spring ball, good luck to you. Next Thursday night, April 27th, 8 o'clock, we are doing the fourth part of our Play Fast Clinic series, virtual clinic series, and it will be with Scott Lawyer, Director of Analytics with Atavis Football, and he will be doing a presentation on developing dominant tacklers. Again, if you want in on that clinic that night, make sure you email sting8740@gmail.com. Email me, and I will get you all the information you need to get in on that clinic. All right, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope this video helps. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast. I will see you guys next time.